Sovereign, how's it going, Sovereign?
Pretty good, you?
I'm all right. Are you at least 18? And what did you mean by the social policies?
I'm 19, born in 2006, and I think that leftist social policy is going to be the future. It's just how it is with how the world's going. I can't agree with American leftists when it comes to, economic policy. My bad.
Mhm.
I can't agree with them when it comes to their social policy because their social and economic policy go into conflict, especially their immigration policy. I feel like if we're going to go to more of a social system, we need to kind of temper off immigration.
Why?
You can't have a social a I guess you can't have a kind of like a heavy kind of like socialist or communist leaning, which I'm not really pro either.
Mhm.
I'm a libertarian capitalist or libertarian socialist. We're
Mhm.
a little bit different than your average socialist or capitalist because we think that like the government should heavily monitor monopolies and go after them and make sure to dismantle them and
Agreed.
make sure to put a good 30 to 40% flat tax on those like cross country corporations or companies.
Okay.
But back
So
to what I was saying is that
yeah, song
I feel like
song
if you want free
right.
healthcare,
Song
yep,
good so far, but like when it comes to immigration, right? Immigration is a net benefit because it expands the tax base. So if we have more, if we have people coming into the country, and a diverse set of people is always an advantage because it brings in new ideas. How would this be bad for us?
it depends on how many you bring at what point of time. I feel like we're bringing in too many, and that we should be prioritizing those who bring more into the system than what we are now.
When you say we bring in too many, like what does that even mean? Because our with our current system right now, like applying to come in takes like 20 years. So what are we
Oh, I
doing?
disagree.
I mean, there's
I
the
disagree with how we have our system set up. I think our immigration system. I am a immigrant,
Mhm.
so I think our immigration system should be cut down to about a year-long process, maybe 6 months if it comes to a refugee situation.
Mhm.
And I think our immigration process really should differentiate in a quick, timely manner. Kind of like I feel like we should have our territories, right?
Mhm.
I feel like we should take immigrants, put them in our territory if we're doing our background checks on them, just to see how they interact and function in kind of like a testing society,
Okay, so
And
like
then I
when
feel like that would help speed up.
so when we take in new immigrants, we should put them in Puerto Rico, Guam, American Samoa, and the Virgin Islands, until like we're
Hey, you
sure
there?
that they can survive in the United States.
Yeah, yeah. And more like they won't cause too much conflict with the native people of the US, Because we have to understand that religion, culture, upbringing bring in different perspectives and how you interact with people. And I kind of want kind of like a test system before they are put
Most of
out
the
into the general public.
most of the immigrants that come into the country are literally like the same religion of most of the people that are in the country already.
Okay. I still think they should be put into the test system before they are put in with the general public. It isn't
But
really just about religion. It's about everything growing up.
like what, like about like what?
Well, just generally like experiences, where you're from, where you're used to, like those who are around you. Like you could say, like you could even put this with regular Americans, like someone who was someone who grew up in rural America versus someone who grew up in, I guess, big cities. There's a
Mhm.
huge cultural and innate kind of like morality and just differences amongst them. And if you just put one with the others without kind of like time to get them prepared for it, they just kind of flop. I feel like that's what we do too much with our own immigration system. We just put people in there as if there aren't things that they need to be prepared for.
How do you explain the military?
The military,
Yeah, how do you explain that?
explain.
In the
Are you
military,
talking about how many?
no, because when you say when you put all these people together, there's going to be conflict, et cetera, et cetera. But how do you explain the military? Because the military is people from all different walks of life, all different races, all different cultural lifestyles, right? And everything happens just fine. It goes swimmingly.
It goes swimmingly because they are all put under a long period of duress before they kind of like are just put out there. Like
Hmm.
when you have these recruits, they go over like 6 months to a year or more time training together, getting pretty much screamed at and pushed to their physical limits before they're just let loose into the military. It's not like they're just being put together after being trained in select groups.
Right. I
There
mean,
need to be, my bad, you go.
but what I'm saying is that what you're talking about is basically regular everyday life, because when I go to work, I'm gonna see people from different lifestyles and everything like that, right? So when you say that these immigrants, we have to put them in a testing society first, like what's the difference between Guam and somewhere like California or Florida? Like they're all gonna be people of different walks of life, different opinions, different ethnicities. So there's not really going to be much of a difference there. Why put them there instead of like having them basically in the United States, you know what I'm saying, and just living their lives. When we're talking about immigration, the issue that people have is thinking that these people are somehow abnormal to everybody else, but we know that they're not. You know what I'm saying? They just
No,
speak
I don't believe that.
yeah, exactly. So a lot of them just speak a different language. It's not really much of a difference. I think what's going on right now, especially with MAGA, is they think that these people are a direct threat to their way of life, and they're really not. So that's really the only really issue. When it comes to immigration, I'm not sure how many would take a year. I'm not sure the numbers yet. I think it's somewhere around maybe a million or two. I think a year. But again, that expands our tax base. That helps us with our demographic crisis that we're going around, because birth rates are declining across the board. You see what I'm saying? So it helps us
Yeah,
with
I get what
all
you're
that.
saying, but like,
Yeah, it helps us with all that.
mhm.
But it's like I'm not sure like how we can't have immigration and the social policies that we want if we have a people that's going to be contributing to the tax base.
Okay, first I would say that when it comes to immigration, that we shouldn't use immigration to fix the birth rate. That's not going to be a good path moving forward. Because do you believe that the people make the country, or do you believe that the country stays the same no matter what the people are?
The country stays the same.
I disagree because the people make the culture.
Yeah, and culture always shifts.
Yeah, but how much do you want the culture to shift?
In as much a positive way as possible. Like this is kind of getting
So,
to the like if the culture shifts too much, it's going to be some sort of negative, but we know it's not.
are you someone who subscribes to the idea that all cultures are the same?
No, not all cultures are the same. Of course they're not.
Are you saying that all cultures are equal? I'm not saying that you're saying this. I'm just trying to get an understanding where you stand.
From where I stand, there are some cultures that do have negatives, right? No one, I don't think anyone should deny that there are things that are
Hmm.
negative in some cultures. Um, but as far as what we have in the United States, the immigrants that are coming in currently, I don't see how they would shift the culture to a negative state, because a lot of times when people come into a society, and when they're born into society, they tend to adopt more of the culture of that society than the one that they came from. Like, for example, my parents are from Haiti, right? In that
Yeah.
society, it's very, very chauvinistic and patriarchal, meaning that kids are supposed to be seen and not heard. Women have a certain place, but if you look at Haitian
Yeah.
American women, they don't act like that at all. When you look at Haitian American men, even a lot of us view it as silly. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean by place of a woman?
Hmm.
A lot of us think that's silly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
that means that we adopted a lot of Western culture. So when we say that, how much do you want the culture to shift? I want to shift in as much of a positive way as possible, because diverse opinions bring that, right? And we know that the culture of America used to be a lot more negative towards people who look like me than it is nowadays. You see what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
because we became more
Hmm.
accepting, and we became a lot more immigrants came in, a lot more immigrants who look like me came in. You see what I'm saying? So it became a lot more accepting. So like when it comes to that, when people say how much you want the culture to shift, it kind of implies that people who are coming in are gonna bring negative aspects, and I have to question why would we even think that in the first place.
Yeah, but I kind of understand your own experiences, maybe to a different degree, because I am a first generation immigrant myself. I'm come from Liberia, so
Hmm.
I kind of like another African country, and it's just like I've seen in my own kind of like Liberian American community that there are those who do try to refuse to change. those who try to carry their culture into America. Like there have been a couple of cases where like children had to be separated from parents because parents were trying to abuse children, or women were trying to, or men were trying to take away women's rights in these certain situations. And I'm saying that while these do happen in small cases, that if we bring in too many people from similar or the same culture, they're going to usually like, it's human nature to group up, you know? And that if they do that, they won't adopt American culture. They won't assimilate to our culture or bring in the goods of their own. My thing is, I'm not against immigration as a whole. I think, though, that when it comes to kind of like UBI, you know what that is, right?
Universal basic income, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if we're ever going to get something like that, which I think is necessary for the future, I feel like we're going to, probably have to limit more and then bring in probably more wealthy people. I don't really care where from. And then I will say that there is a concern that like I escaped the third world. I don't want it to chase me here, you know?
I mean, but how would it? You know what I'm saying? Because what you're talking about is people who are abusive, right? Most people are not abusive. So I mean, and those things that you're talking about are already illegal in America. You're saying that if we bring in like a lot more Liberians, we're gonna change the law for them to abuse their wives. That's
I'm
kind of
not
silly.
saying that.
Right. So it's
No, I'm
like
not saying that. I'm not saying we're going to change the law. But I'm saying that like
it'll become more
how
acceptable
much
to
risk
abuse
do we
your
want
wife.
to,
I don't think it'll become more
depending
acceptable
on
to
like
abuse your wife. Like it's like it's
not
I'm not sure
not
where
in
we're going with.
mass.
Right. No, it's like the thing is what I'm kind of struggling with. I'm not sure where we're going with this because it's like, yeah, if what you're talking about is abnormal, you know what I'm saying, already. You know what I'm saying? Most people are not abusive, even in cultures where, you know, they don't put a lot of emphasis on, you know, treating women well. Even in those cultures, most of those husbands are not just beating on their wives. You know what I'm saying? So is one of those things where I'm like, I'm kind of lost on where I mean, I'm kind of harping on that point. I do apologize. I'm kind of harping on that
Yeah,
point,
I know.
but I'm kind of wondering. I'm just kind of using that as a reference point of what do you think, like if you bring people in mass, what exactly is going to happen? Because I remember 10 years ago, this was a conversation with Syrian refugees where people said if we bring in all these Syrian refugees, the culture of America will change and people will bring in Sharia law. And there are people, you know, there'll be like Qurans everywhere and everything like that. And this was 10 years ago. None of that happened. So it's like when we talk about, you know, culture shifting, what do we mean? Like I'm always struggling with what exactly does that mean, and what do people think is going to happen exactly?
First of all, I'd say that most people, you're right, won't do that. But I'd also say that people from the Liberian community, which I'm not saying most people from Liberia do that. Most people I know don't, and they very are against it because they're very proud Americans. And I'm not saying that all immigrants do this, and I'd say that most legal immigrants do want to become American. That's why they did it the legal way. But I'd also say that they're also slightly a bit more tolerant of it. And what I say when I think culture shifting, I think culture shifting is a 30 to 40-year thing, you know? It's not going to happen within the first 20 years. It's going to take about the third generation before you start to see the culture shift.
Right, but when we talk about culture shift, right? We all want to the cultures are always going to shift. That's just a thing. It's going to happen. Culture's going to shift.
Yeah,
but like what people are concerned about is shifting away from the status quo, what we know, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, is it?
it depends. Do you like the status quo of where you live, you know?
No.
And if people of that area, if the people of that area don't want to change, should they be forced to change?
Yes, because the people in Florida is a very racist state. That should change.
Okay, that's Florida. I'm talking, I guess that is a point. Wait, you think people of Florida are racist?
Florida's a racist state. Yeah, Florida's very racist. Now,
I've had a lot of good experiences in Florida.
I mean, the thing is because I grew up in Miami, right? So a lot of people kind of assume that because it's Miami and there's a lot of Cubans here, then it's gonna be all good and well. No, a lot of those Cubans are racist.
No, yeah, I bet. Like, if I'm right, nothing against the Hispanics, but they kind of do have a bit of a homogeneous culture, you know, where they're very tight knit, you know, and a little bit XC to outsiders, right? Or at least that's what I've experienced when I've been around them.
Outsiders who look like me and you. But if
they're a bit colorist, right?
Yeah, if an outsider looks like Timothy Chalamet, they're gonna be very friendly with that guy.
Yeah, they love that guy.
Yeah, exactly. But if an outsider looks like Kodak, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, and I'd say that's a big issue when it comes to culture shift. I'd say that like for all the benefits you get from bringing in new cultures, you also have to deal with some of the fact that some of these cultures aren't going to be so, I guess, progressive as America.
Um,
I'd say
um,
that's a portion of it.
I mean, America has shifted much more to the right, like a lot. Um, yeah, I
Yeah, it
don't.
is.
Yeah, and honestly, like, there's a lot of progressivism in America. Yeah, I would agree with that, but much of it, even since the Obama days. Sorry, Tro, I gotta put you on mute for a second, Tro. Sorry about that. But yeah, even since the Obama days, like it was a lot more center right than it was what I would say left. But what I want to know, what I'm kind of struggling with is that when it comes to the shift or the culture shift of America, bringing in more and more immigrants, I guess, from the third world, how much of the shift you think is going to happen? Because like you're from the third world yourself. I am myself. Yeah, I mean, so it's like,
Hmm.
what is the shift that you think is going to happen? Because I don't really see what the big shift would be.
It for me kind of like depends. Kind of like again the quantity of how many you bring, and then do you make sure to keep them separate when they're in this kind of assimilation stage? My issue is that in a lot of places
Why would
recently we
why would we
haven't really
even do that,
we
bro?
haven't
Why would we keep them separate? Why would we do that?
do we want to really have a whole new culture kind of develop inside of America? Like, do we want to like break the like unity of the country? Like, I'm not saying that different cultures can't unify, but it makes it a lot harder to. And we already have so many different cultural problems between like northern states, southern states, western states, eastern states. Do we really want to bring more problems when it comes down to like unity?
I mean, I'm not sure if I'm sorry, sure. Give me one second. I'm not sure if America is even unified at all. Yeah, I mean, because of exactly because of what you said. Yeah, I mean, but like when it comes to like issues of I guess unity, uh, uh what like unity in what sense do you mean? Like viewing everyone, like viewing all of us as American? Because like
Yeah.
that's an issue now. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, for example, look at what happened when Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico. People didn't want to help. And then when Hurricane Harvey hit Texas, it was all, let's help our fellow Americans. Like, a lot of people are protesting the NFL game because an American, Bad Bunny, is performing just because he's from Puerto Rico. We have issues with unity now. So
I get what you're saying.
mm.
And that's like, well, I guess I got to ask you another question. Do you believe, are you more national, like the national government, like federal government, or are you more pro states' rights? Because I'm more pro states' rights.
I'm the reason why I'm not pro states' rights is because we saw what happened the last time there was pro states' rights. They had slavery.
Yeah, but that was like so long ago, and like the country's changed so much.
I 100%
You're acting
believe that
like
if we go back to more states' rights, they'll bring it back, especially Jim Crow.
I
If
can't agree with you at all. Like, are you talking? Which
I
states are you
hunch
talking about? Are you talking like? Are
the
you talking
sou-
like Florida, Texas,
the southern states
Oklahoma?
will bring back redlining and Jim Crow if we go back to what we had before. The federal government,
No offense,
no,
that's wild.
100% believe that they would literally go back to they would do, because in Mississippi. I'm sorry, Trill, I'm gonna get to you in a second. And in I think it was Mississippi or Alabama. There was a town
No,
that
they're racist there.
yeah, there was a town that voted for a black mayor, and the all white city council literally locked him out in order for him to not do his job. They would bring back Jim Crow. Texas, especially. If you ever heard about Vidor, Texas, they will bring back Jim Crow. Louisiana will bring
Are
back
you
Jim
talking
Crow.
about towns within these areas, or are you talking about the
The
state as a
state,
whole? Because like,
the state, because
ah,
those states are all Republican led. They will bring back Jim Crow immediately. 100% think so.
I don't know, man. Like,
No, I know.
I'm a Southerner myself, and I've had no issues until I go to Alabama or Mississippi.
Which state?
Me, Oklahoma.
They're gonna bring back Jim Crow in Oklahoma, bro.
Hmm? Repeat what you said.
They'll go back to Jim Crow in Oklahoma.
Nah. Have
Yes.
you been to Oklahoma?
I've
People
heard
are pretty
enough.
chill here.
I've heard enough about it. They'll bring it back.
What'd you hear? I'm just curious because I need to understand where you're getting these opinions from.
Not nice thing, especially in that panhandle.
Oh, the panhandles. Those people are weird. Like they're really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, and
they're Bigfoot people.
every county in Oklahoma voted for Trump, who is like an outright racist. So
I guess that's like a fundamental disagreement between me and you. I don't think he's a racist. But that would be getting into the weeds.
Calling African and Caribbean nations shithole countries and saying Somalis are garbage isn't racist?
I wouldn't say it's racist if like the countries he's talking about are like pretty bad. Like, would you admit that like Liberia and a lot of the West Coastern African countries are pretty bad states? Like, objectively,
they're in pretty bad states, but calling them shithole countries and saying that Somalis are garbage and saying that, because here's the thing, we know dog whistles when we hear it, bro. That's the thing. Like you, I know as a first generationer, you may not know, but we know dog whistles when we hear it. You know what I'm saying? They say things without saying things, basically. You know what a dog whistle is, right?
I know what a dog whistle is. Yeah, I'm not uneducated. I think I'm pretty educated.
Right,
myself.
right. So that's what I'm saying. These are dog whistles. And he's
I don't know. I feel like
and the thing is,
I feel like he'd say the same.
He already dropped the mask when he said that Haitians are eating dogs and cats in Ohio, something that was obviously not true. But the reason why people wanted to believe it was true, if you said a whole bunch of Germans were eating dogs in Ohio, do you really think they will believe that?
No, but if they said that the Germans were starting to believe in what's his name, you know the guy, I believe that, you know.
Right. But I'm talking about something as we know in the West is not accepted, such as eating cats and dogs. You really think that if they said that about a white ethnic group, people will believe that, or they will say you're spreading conspiracy theories? Why was it when it was a black ethnic group they believed it?
I'd say the reason they believed it when it came from a black ethnic group because of where the people are from and the cultural differences there. Because I can say from where I'm from, they did eat cats and dogs. Like it's an objective fact in Liberia they do it. It's because they're starving. It's not because they want to eat them. But
right. But you see how you put in that context? It's because they're starving. Yeah. During times of famine, people are going to eat what they got to eat, right? If we're in a famine, yeah, you see a cat walking by, you're probably going to eat it if you're in a famine. But I'm talking about regular Liberian cuisine. Is cats part of it?
No, but monkeys are.
Right, but we're talking about we're talking about.
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying.
Exactly. So this is.
And I'm kind of dodging. I get that.
Right, but this is what I'm talking about, right? When when they say that Haitians are eating cats and dogs, that came from a racist stereotypes of Haitians being cannibals or just eating whatever comes out the road. That's where that came from.
I feel like neither of us are really going to change our point on whether Trump's a racist or not. So I guess, do you want to go back to my economic views, or do you want to keep on going down this?
I want to ask one last question. Would you say that denying black people apartments in New York City, denying people apartments is a racist thing, specifically black people?
Did you add context on why that happened?
Yeah.
Was there a reason, or was it just because they were black?
Just because they were black. Remember, the federal government investigated him for this, and they found that even the black applicants who qualified for those apartments were denied, and there was a big C for them. And witnesses said that you put that C to mean colored.
Yeah, then I disagree. I think that's a bit racist right there.
Right, that's what
I think he should get fined for it. Mm-hmm. And like nothing against you. I'm talking to a commenter. I'm not really a Trumper. I don't really like him. I think that he's better than the alternative because I didn't really like Kamala at all. For me, if Trump is guilty of the crimes they say he is, I think they should arrest him, if not execute him. That's my opinion when it comes down to politicians who break the law. I think they should be held to a higher standard.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and we can go ahead and talk about
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Troll. I'm sorry.
That's like a huge jet plane size hole in his logic group, and it's like, okay, earlier in the conversation he was talking about, basically white people in the South being racist. Like, no, they're not racist anymore. And then, basically based on your experiences, right? But then,
True, pause for me for a second, True.
I'm sorry.
Call from
JC.
To accept, press 1.
Hey, JC, how's it going?
Good.
Hey, can everybody hear JC?
Yep.
I can hear.
Huh?
All right, great. JC, hold on for me real quick. Let me let Trill finish what he was saying. I'm gonna get back to you. JC, did you disagree with what I had on the board?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Hold for me. I'll get back to you. Go ahead, Trill.
And just finish. So like, okay, so like, you didn't believe white people were still racist in like Oklahoma and all these other southern states or former Confederate states, but then
I don't think Oklahoma.
you asked me about Germans, right? Like, if, I don't know if you asked like, yeah, but like, you know, if I don't know, something about like Germans, believe, yeah, you were saying like, but
Yeah, if they were with the mustache man,
like,
then I would think I'd lean toward that thinking.
So like, I'm trying to understand how it's believable for German people to revert back to, you know, that ism, right? But it's unfathomable for you to believe that white people in the South are still racist. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
The reason I think that because really, like, in most of the southern states I've been in, there I haven't had any negative experiences. Nobody treated me negatively. Like, in my own experiences, most southern people are just pretty much people just want to be left alone.
So what are your
Now, if you try to force your
Germans?
My thing with German is really not. It's not the average German. It's just the growing, I guess, revival of that movement. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Okay. So at this point, you gotta be trolling at this point. Cause like, so you see the resurgence of authoritarianism in Germany. Is that correct?
Not in Germany, but just kind of like in the surrounding generation.
Of Germans, of German Americans.
Not German Americans, Germans.
All right, so you're
It's
saying
not like the average German.
all right, everybody pause. So you're saying in Western Europe there's a rise of fascism. So if a group of Germans were said to be neo-Nazis, you would believe that because there's a rise of fascism over in Western Europe. Is that right?
I don't think a rise of fascism. I think a rise of anti-Semitism and then a rise of generally anti-minority views.
So
mostly
fascism.
because of like how many people.
So fascism.
No, do you think disliking minorities is fascism?
No.
Yes.
Yeah. If
I feel like you could be racist and then not be a fascist.
No, it's fascism. Racism is fascism.
You don't separate them.
No. Fascism has to have racism. It's necessary for fascism to have racism.
And regardless, I just find it crazy. You can see it in Europe, but you can't see it in America. It's like you're in America, and it's like and also just another thing I want to say before this is that you seem to be very ignorant of just American history in general. Like,
I think I'm pretty well versed in it. Like, I know,
because like there's things that he said that is like there's common knowledge to anybody who's lived in America, like for any amount of time. Really, people just know. Oh, you in the South? Like there's certain parts of the South you go in. Like when you're in the city, you're talking about blue areas, right? If you go to like a blue area and Florida, right? Yeah, you're going to have a good time. You're less likely. I ain't saying it's impossible, but you're less likely to see some racist happening. If you go into like the rural parts of Florida, I'm pretty sure mostly. I've never been to the rural parts of Florida. I would never go. I'm pretty sure you'll see some stuff like, okay, I don't feel too comfortable, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe not
in the South.
Around 2009, right after Obama won, it was very hard to be around Lakeland. I'll tell you that much. All right, so guys, can y'all all pause me for a second? Because I do want to get to my caller on the line, and my mind has been here for a second. My mind, are you still there? Still there, my mind? All right. So what's his name? Sovereign Reader, I do appreciate you being up, but gotta go ahead and move on. We'll talk again.
Okay,
all right, I'll be on tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. See you. I'll follow you real quick.
Yeah. See you. I'll be on tomorrow.
Have a good night.
You too. I'll be on tomorrow afternoon. All right. Appreciate you.
See ya.